Okay, so today I'll be showing how to use the click and drop function in SLS. So it can be used for more than one subject, of course, but I'll be showing it for math here. So it allows for more variety in our SLS packages apart from the usual videos and then questions. Okay, so of course, first we need to create it. So we create a lesson. We go under custom. Okay, so let's just name it as test. Okay, so just save it here. Okay, so activity, we will have to create activity first. So this is the first activity. Okay, and then this is where add component. Okay, so we have a click and drop function here. So this is what I'll be using. So you can click and drop. Okay, so in click and drop, what you actually see is the question body first. Okay, and then there's a base image and then the options. Okay, so I'll also be showing you how you can create the base image and then the options also. Okay, so for this case, we'll be looking at expand an expansion question. So expand the following expression. Okay, so let's just save this first. Okay, so we can't save it because we need to upload background image and options. Okay, so we just leave it here first. Okay, so how we normally create the pictures and all, we actually go to PowerPoint. Okay, so in PowerPoint, this is what we need to do. We actually need to create a base image and then create our options. Okay, so let's say we use math type. Okay, so we have a question perhaps x minus 3 x 2x. Okay, maybe let's put 2x minus 3 and then x plus 5, for example. Okay, so what we're going to do is because we're creating a base image, so we just put it something equals. Okay, so we have this. Okay, and then what we're going to have, okay, we are going to have this border image. Okay, so the purpose of this border box, right? Okay, let's put it as no fill. Okay, actually, normally I'll put it as no outline, but if you're so that we can so that on the image itself is you don't see an extra border, but it's fine if you want to put a border. So the purpose of doing this is really because we need to leave some space at the top and bottom as well as the sides. Okay, so that we can put our options nicely later. Later when I do it, then you will know what I mean. Okay, so it's always important to put this border here. Okay, then because what we are trying to do is we're trying to create a question. Oops. And then we have some instructions that we want to give the students. Okay, so maybe I'll put a border out first so that it's easier to see. Okay, so let me get the option out. Where's the option? Okay, okay. Let me see if I can select it. Okay, perhaps it's gone. Okay, so let's say the first step is use rainbow method. Okay, so the first step is to use rainbow method. So we'll just put it as a description there. Okay, so what happens is, okay, let's leave it here. Okay, so it's important to leave a big space here so that we can put the options later. Okay, then the second step is going to be simplify. Okay, so you just put simplify the expression. Okay, so now that we have these two, okay, so we realize it's a two-step problem. Okay, so we need to put another equals. Okay, so let's put another equals and then we have this. Okay, so this is done using math type. Okay, so once we have this thing, okay, so normally I will leave another space. Okay, so you can leave another space so it's more, we have more space for the thing. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so we have used rainbow method and then simplify the expression. Okay, so then of course the next thing we can do is to create our options. Okay, so we don't need the image to be so big, so we can reduce the size. Okay, so our next step is to create the options. Okay, so what happens when we create options? Okay, let me just use this. Okay, so the first step is going to be we expand it out, so it will become 2x squared. Okay, let me just put it here so it's easier to see. 2x squared, and then we have plus 10x, and then minus 3x, and then minus 15. Okay, I realize you might not be able to see the math type window, but it's fine. Okay, so you just need to type it out. Okay, so once you have this, okay, and then the next step is going to be, let me simplify everything. So it's going to be 7x like this. Okay, so we have this. Okay, then we just adjust it back to the same size. Okay, so now once again we need to create a border. Okay, so the reason for this border is really to give all options the same size. So the reason for that is so that students won't know that, oh, this option is a bit smaller, means it matches with this. Okay, so it's really to reduce the error of or reduce the chances of students just trying to look at the size to determine which is the answer. Okay, so same thing, I like to put it without the outline so it looks nicer. Okay, so now that we have done all these things, what we need to do is just to, okay, let me remove this border first. Okay, what we need to do is just to select everything. Okay, then we put it as save as picture. Okay, so you just save under your folder. Save in any of the folder is fine. Okay, so we just need to save it in our folders. Okay, once again, because it's a pop-up window, you might not be able to see on my screen, but I believe this will be fine for you. Okay, so let me just save it quickly. Okay. Okay, so you just need to label it as maybe the question, and then you label step 1 and step 2. Okay, so you just save it accordingly so that it's easier for you to find subsequently. Okay, so it's important to select everything. Okay, so the size is correct after that. Okay, so once you have saved this already, okay, then we need to go back to our SLS to insert the image. Okay, so now we are back at SLS again. Okay, so remember we have written a question body. Okay, so now we just need to, okay, so you need to upload the image. Okay, so same thing, when you upload, you just need to upload and then you drag the image that you want into the blank here. Yes, sorry, I blanked out a bit. Okay, so yeah, just need to drag it in. Okay, so wherever for your folder, you just drag in the question one. Oops. Yeah, you just drag it in, or you can just go and find it accordingly. Okay, sorry, it's taking a while for me. Let me get it. Okay, yes. Okay, so you get a question. Okay, then you just upload it. Okay, so it will take a while to upload, it's fine. Okay, once you upload, you should see your image here. If it doesn't appear, you might need to refresh and try it again. Okay, so let me try again. I'm not too sure why. Okay, let me see if it works this time. Yes, okay. So sometimes there will be some issues that you might face, but it's fine. Just try uploading again, and normally it will work lah. Okay, so now the options. Okay, so the thing about these options is you can actually add a text or add images. But the issue with text is I show you. We cannot type mathematical things here. So what happens is, yeah, we just cannot type. So only can type words. Okay, so this is suitable if let's say you are trying to label certain things. Then yes, it's just words, and then you can use it. Okay, otherwise, it is better if that you need to create an image, which is why it is a bit more time consuming on that part. Okay, so let me create the option. So step 1, okay, it takes a while to load, and then after that we have step 2. Okay, so once we have these two options uploaded, okay, so what I normally do is I will use the original size. So the reason being is because I already set the size to be the same. So it's good to use original size so that it's not very small on the part on this part. Okay, so let me go to this. Okay, so we just need to aim it down here, and then the second one we just place, and once again we aim it down here. Okay, so the issue with this thing is, okay, so I show you if I were to use it becomes very small. Okay, so I usually use the original size. Okay, so the thing is, if let's say I didn't aim it properly, to reposition it is a problem. So sometimes I put it here, then it becomes like this. So it takes a while to aim it properly actually. Yep, so that's one of the things that I'm not too sure how it can be rectified also, but so far whatever I've tried, it is quite difficult. Yeah, so once you have done this, you have more or less completed this method of click and drop. Okay, so then we can just save this. Okay, so once you save it, this is what we will have, and then let's look at it in the preview as students. Okay, okay, so when we preview as student, which is what the students will view, this is what you'll see. Okay, so let's say they need to try the question. So how it works is I need to use remote method for the first step. Okay, so I look at the options. Okay, which one tells me the rainbow method? Okay, so it's the first one. So I click my option. I click the blank here and then I click the option I want. Okay, so let's say I click wrongly, then I'll click the option again, the blank here, and then I'll click the other option. Then it changes. So that's what it means by click and drop. Okay, so now the correct one is this, and then the other one is this one. Okay, so once they're done, okay, then you just submit. Okay, then it's correct. Okay, so this is quite useful if let's say you want students to do it step by step, and then they as a recap or perhaps as a lesson development for them also. Okay, so of course apart from this, there's also you can also use it for labeling of um, diagrams. Let's say you want to look at Pythagoras theorem, you can give the base image as a right angle triangle, and then the options can be your hypotenuse, opposite as well as adjacent, and then the students can just label it. Okay, so what you want to do with this function is really up to you and up to your creativity, but I think this is just one way of using it, and I just wanted to share how you can go about using it, as well as creating the images and taking note of the certain conditions. So like I mentioned earlier, the issue with not having the border, right? Okay, firstly for the options, the students will not see as the same size. Okay, so they obviously know that the shorter one is the second step. Okay, secondly, it is important for this border, this big border, because what happens when you put the options down, right? If let's say it goes across the border, they actually won't allow you to save the question when you create it. Yeah, so these are just some constraints. So my point is really just to create a border so that you don't have to face that kind of issues that will occur when you don't do it properly lah. Yeah. Okay, if not, I think that's all for this click and drop function. I hope it was helpful for you.